How do you do, ladies and gentlemen?
Now, here comes the...
Do you think you're funny?
Made that recipe?
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. I'm telling you.
Quite tasty.
It is quite tasty. It's quite tasty, sir.
Excellent.
Awesome. So, what you got going on? What you want to promote?
Oh, what do I want to promote?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, you know me, all about local theater and the arts departments and community
Absolutely.
and stuff like that.
Yep.
And to me, the community is the entire Gulf Coast. We are a melting pot. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, in several areas. I know out in Gulfport, you know, I'm looking at my notes here. We got Downstage Productions with Trey Spears, good friend of mine. They've got a Little Shop of Horror auditions going on.
Oh man. How? So when will that be over with?
Those auditions are May 6th and 7th at 6:30.
Okay.
But if you go to their Facebook page and they've got like an online application
Yeah.
to sign up, and then they also got the list of roles that they're searching for and everything. And I found it surprising that they had Audrey 2 up there for a role they're searching
fantastic.
for. And that's one of the roles I'd love doing. I mean, when I was younger and was able to walk, I wanted to be the dentist. Because, I
Right.
mean, come on, Steve Martin in the original, awesome.
Right.
But I'd do Audrey 2 now, hands down. But it's difficult for me to get out to Gulfport. So if we're not going to Gulfport, we can head into Biloxi. Now, Biloxi has the two theaters, right?
Right.
You got center Stage out near the mall, and then
Right.
you've got BLT, or Biloxi Little Theater, on Lee Street here in
Right.
East Ocean, or East Biloxi. So I know, looking at my notes here, that over at Center Stage, they've got You Can't Take It With You auditions. Now,
Very nice.
I'm not familiar with that show. I'll have to do a little bit more research, but I know that their show times are going to be, it says May 8th. So it's not auditions, it's actually the show. My bad.
Yeah.
And their show dates are going to be April 28th through May 8th over
that's
at
awesome.
Center Stage. Yeah. But then let's get into Biloxi Little Theater. A couple announcements with them. They still got performances of the show All Shook Up for this weekend, the 14th through the 16th. So if you just go to 4blt.com, you can get tickets to go see that. For future, I found out that they got their youth show cast and ready to go. They're going to be doing The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, fantastic. So where does the youth, what's the age limit that actually cuts off with that?
It goes all the way up to 18.
Do we know offhand, or all the way up to 18? Awesome.
All the way up to 18, yeah. So, and then I don't know, sometimes with the youth productions, they throw in a couple adults, this, that, and the other, but I know it's a large cast. I mean, come on. Kids, Munchkin Land, come on. Flying Monkeys, lots of kid roles. But yeah, that one, they've got that casted. And let me see, them show dates are going to be later on because they still got All Shook Up going on. Now with the Mary C here in Ocean Springs, you know, they got the Trent Lott Theater at the Mary C Cultural Center. What they got going on right now is they're signing up for summer camps and classes going on. You can just go to their Facebook page and click on, or go to their website and click on the classes and camp tabs, and they'll tell you everything that's going on, or sign up for them. But I mean, they got cooking classes, kids art classes, singing lessons, piano lessons. They got quite a bit. So I'd check that out for anybody who's interested over here in the Ocean Springs area.
That's fantastic, man. Good job.
Well, thank you. That's the Gulf Coast community.
There you go. All right. So we're here today to be able to talk to everybody about the show Naked and Affraid. So I know everybody's kind of heard of it. I know I'm a day late and a dollar short when it comes down to this thing. It's been going for forever. And there's multiple seasons. There's multiple shows that's spawned off of, three different sets, and they're all running about, so far, I think about 10 seasons, close to 10 seasons apiece, or 7 seasons apiece, something to that extent. Anyway, massive show. I know you've heard about it. Have you watched a few? What's your take on it?
Let's see. Naked and Afraid. I think the concept is in the title. I've seen a few episodes. I haven't streamed entire seasons or anything like that.
Right.
Because I mean, the gist is pretty much similar. Let's get a guy and a girl. Let's rate them before we send them out into the wilderness.
Right.
When we get them out there, get them naked. Right. Oh, and give them one item. Right. One item.
Exactly. One item. They have one item to survive.
One item to survive and a map.
Yes, and a pouch.
Oh, yeah, got to have that pouch. Because from what I understand from camera angles, they got to have that pouch stationed perfectly.
Right. Now, the editor has got to have a field day on that one.
I know. The editor in the booth is kind of going, "Man, stop jumping." Right? It's like,
why are you doing it? Please stop doing jumping jacks. We understand you're cold. Get by the fire. Stop jumping around.
well, that's if somebody brought matches or something to start fire. A lot of times people forget some of the simple things. But I mean, for me, it'd be lotion. Forget fire. Give me lotion, because I've seen a lot of desert episodes and stuff like that, and those people get burned.
Oh yeah, big time. I'll stop jumping. They've gone out into the desert. Africa. They've done Australia. They've done Belize. They've done all kind of locations. I mean, where they've been has been absolutely where we wouldn't normally go. It's the whole entire perspective of trying to survive in an area in which humans do not thrive or survive.
Right. But they always got that helicopter on standby.
Oh yeah, no, it's the camera crew. Okay, so that's the best part about this is that the contestants, they cannot receive any help from the camera crew at all whatsoever. The only time that they can receive help is if it is under a medical emergency or they are under dire distress. That's pretty much how that rolls out. I mean, there's no other way to be able to describe that at all whatsoever. But the complexity,
wait.
I mean, the complexity.
I'm thinking to myself, as the crew, they're sitting there and they've got sacks of all this food, and here they are recording these starving people, and they're noshing on sandwiches and everything, drinking a Pepsi or Coke in the back, and they're just, oh man, that could be you right now.
They've got a whole entire camp set up somewhere where they can just sit back and chill. When it comes time for them to stop and leave them alone for the night, they just go right back to camp, chill out, drink, do whatever.
Yeah.
But
or they got
I mean,
messed up.
Yeah, but they do have medical crews there. They do have that kind of stuff, and it's actually really fun. It's a nice show to watch. But there's a lot of stuff that I can actually take away from the show. It's more than just the show itself. I have to look at the psychological aspect of it. I mean, these individuals, now that it has progressed on to, the 3 separate shows and all the things that have happened within the seasons, they have literally gotten to the point to where they have created an extreme sport out of this. And the ratings that you were talking about, that's their stats. I mean, they of course the stats fluctuate throughout the show. If something happens to them, if they step on something, if they got bit by a snake, if they do this or they do that, of course it fluctuates within their. Hold on, so. Yes. Ooh, when do we break for lunch? Oh, never mind.
Sorry.
So, but the psychological aspect of the show is actually pretty phenomenal. I mean, you have to sit there and you have to will yourself to be able to go against some of the stuff that, I mean, you have no clothes on. And like you were talking about lotion and everything, I've watched some of these episodes where people have been they're laying down trying to sleep. They've been eaten by sandflies. I mean, they'd wake up looking like they had the worst case of chicken pox ever. And their body is just itching, seeping, and they're like, okay, well, yeah, let's just continue on going. Like it's nothing, no big deal. We'll just scratch until we have no skin left.
Right, and cameraman's there spraying off on them. He's like, oh, man.
They're all
this is horrible.
Going, y'all are nuts.
I've gone through 2 bottles of off. Man, this sucks. Well, another thing I'm thinking about, you think like the government watches these shows and they're taking all the people who end up scoring really high on their survival thing, and you're like, okay, they're my next person I'm going to send to Mars.
Right. Barren wasteland, here you go. You're just going to have to go to a whole new planet.
Yep, a whole new planet. You're going to go there, survive. You got a really good high rating on Naked and Afraid. We're going to send you to another planet.
The one thing that kind of bothers me, though, I mean, some of the contestants are actually, they get to a point to where they break down. I mean, they actually go through they unload their emotional baggage, so to speak.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, think about it. You go days without food, days without water. Yeah. You're nuts. Speaking of which, dude, adjust your pouch. We don't want to see it. And they actually have. There's even commentary from the production crew, the film crew. They have actually done that before. They've been like, "Hey, man, look, can you just kind of put the pouch just down in front because you're swinking everywhere, and we don't really want to see that. We just need a break from it."
Well, yeah, but I find it difficulty for the young women who participate in that show. I mean, you get one pouch.
Yeah, right. And it's where you want to put it. It's where you looking. Stop looking. Okay, my eyes are right here.
I know. It's like she tells the camera and stay up here.
Right.
Just look at me up here.
But the meet and greet, can you imagine though? I mean, you don't know this individual. And the first time that you meet him, you are stark naked. You are as you came into this world, and you have to shake this individual's hand. And I've seen some contestants, they were just like, you know what, let's just get the awkwardness out of the way. Skip the hug. I'm going to skip the handshake. We just go straight for the hug. And
right.
How would you be in that situation? I mean, would it be, of course, I mean, the eyes are going to wonder. We already know that that's going to happen. You're going to have to check them out in one way or another. But how would you feel in that show? How would you feel in that particular instance where you're just...
I'd probably just keep a smile on my face and roll with it.
Right. Okay.
Don't judge or anything like that. I mean, it's like, who knows, several hours from that point, we're going to probably be laying close to one another trying to keep warm depending on the location. So
I'm so glad you brought that up because that was the other point. Some of these locations, they're freezing at night. And
right.
That, some of these people, they're just like, my wife or my significant other, my husband, whoever is at home. And I'm not going to do that with you. I'm not going to spoon up next to you while we are freezing, facing hypothermia, just because of that particular reason. And I'm like, the whole premise of the show is in the name, just like you were saying earlier, naked, afraid, not clothed and afraid.
and it's like the afraid part always interests me is what are you going to do? Are you going to be afraid of the location? Are you going to be afraid of the elements? Are you going to be afraid of the person you're stuck with not knowing what to do?
All of the above.
There's all the above. So, I mean, it hits a lot of important points. If you got one person who has like no animosity and just throws all that to the wayside, I think the cases of them making it through together is higher. But there's been several shows where I watched where one of them just starts complaining about every little thing, and I'm going, okay, they're going to be out by day 6.
Right.
And I'm just waiting for the rescue.
Yep. Just any minute, any day now, they're going to tap. They can't hold tight. They're losing it. And that's. But then that person left alone. And how far they get. Because, I mean, I've seen a couple where the person, like, dipped out on them on, like, day 6. Right.
And they've lasted, 24 days past that time?
Yep. Absolutely.
So,
and
kudos to them. Kudos to them.
Big time. And that's another thing. So they started off with the 21-day marker.
Okay.
And, you had to be able to accomplish 21 days without giving up, without tapping out, is what they call it. Then they decided, 21 is not enough. We're going to go ahead and we're going to up the ante. We're going to go to 40. And that's where XL comes in. So 40 days out there, naked and afraid. And then they decided 40 is not enough. We're going to go ahead and jump up to 60. Dude, 60 days. No food, except for what you can grab yourself, what you can forage, what you can do, everything. I would absolutely, I don't know, man. I don't know if I could do it, honestly. I mean, I don't know. I'd probably break. I can't stand bugs anyway. And I live in Mississippi, so.
I think if I was put in that situation, I'd find a way.
Right.
I probably surprised myself on how far I could go, but right. I think I have a never give up mentality now.
I could definitely tell you that you do, sir. I will, my hat's off to you on that, absolutely.
I'd probably joke at every incident like, damn, I just got bit by a rattlesnake. It jumped up and bit me, But I pull that one quote off the movie and look at the cameraman and says, "If I remove the snake, will you suck out the poison?" So I mean,
will you please? And I got my lotion over there in my bag.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Can't forget the lotion.
But I have to actually classify these individuals as extreme athletes now, because it's honestly, if you look at it, it was their drive, it's their passion for this. They actually do. It's almost like a runner's high. They get addicted to it. They want more. And the all-star teams and stuff like that, the guys and gals and whomever, they go on the show. The way that they are at the very beginning versus the way that they are when they get to XL is so much more knowledgeable. Their knowledge base is so much more extended. They just go right into the flow of things. They do their order of operations. They knock it out. They get it done. They just continue on. Of course, just like everything in life, something is going to throw a curveball. Usually does. Everybody gets their dream team. I get my dream team whenever I see them because they pair up. They team up. And that dream team is a wonderful thing. I mean, to be able to know that, just like in real life, you've got friends or you got people that are with you, that you're going through the same stuff. They're with you 100%. They're right there by your side. They're working with you nonstop. These individuals have my absolute respect overall. Because, I mean, some of the stuff that they're doing, I know that I wouldn't do voluntarily. I wouldn't when I know that, and just like what Toe said, I'd be good to make it 24 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, I would definitely be on the very same page with that. I can't sit there and just say that I would be able to survive it. But I mean, it would be fun to be able to at least try, I guess.
I think after the first day and the first night, if you personally make it through that, then just measure it day by day.
That's exactly what they were doing. They had one that was a counselor out there, and that's another point that I want to talk about. He was talking about how he just has to work it just like he would if one of his people were, going through, drug counseling or something to that extent. You have to take it one step at a time. You cannot. One guy even he used it to be able to quit smoking cigarettes. He didn't make it. He ended up getting toxic sickness, and he had to go home because of nicotine and nicotine withdrawals and so forth and so on. And he started doing some weird, crazy stuff. Didn't sleep very well. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but good news is he stopped smoking.
Yeah.
Which also brings me to another point: the damage that they do to their body for this, man. This is some of the stuff that they get, some of the diseases that they get. It actually is a lifelong issue now. It has created issues in their body, problems with their, liver, problems with their stomach or intestine, small intestine, whatever. And they just keep right on going like, hey, man, it's no big deal. One dude fell down and dislocated his knee. So he thought, ripped the tendon is what he did. And I mean, it showed that his knee literally just straight out the side. Laying on the ground, he's like, I'm fine. He got up, started trying to walk on it, and he's like, I'm in an ant pile, and he falls back down again. He just keeps on going. I'm like, man, the drive and determination that these people have, and they don't get anything for this. They get paid $5,000 on an average for their time. That's it.
Yeah.
5,000. Dude, that's how much is your life worth to you? That's exactly what that is. Okay, I'm good with 5K, and the recognition that I can sit there and run through this thing without an issue at all whatsoever. So you said that you would bring lotion. Me personally, I think I'd just have to. I'd have to go with a kukri, a knife. I'd have to have this specific kind of knife because of its attributes. So, Toph, I see that you're on. What would be your one item to bring on a 21-day excursion without?
Yeah, not the 60-day.
Right. Yeah. Well, let's not talk about. They get a lot more stuff for 60 days. Just for the 21 days, what would your one thing be that you'd have to have? I mean, friction fires, you can do that. You can start friction fires. You can create things like that. I mean, spears, as long as you've got a knife or something, you can create a spear. You can create some kind of weapon or tool. That's my personal take. I'm going to wait for his.
I know, right? Well, he's pondering really hard on this one. It's like you mean, maybe I'll make this mistake and assume that the person who's going to be stuck with me brings something other than lotion. Maybe they'll bring the knife or something. But I'll just make it comfortable for them. And then if they decide to bow out, I'll take their knife. Right. But
oh man, yeah. So there was just one lady. She felt wronged by her team. And this was on XL, I think.
Okay.
But she just snapped, and she started grabbing all their survival gear, everything that they had, and just started throwing it in the river, letting it sink. Yeah, right. So I mean, I'm like, what? Are you serious? I mean, the mental state for individuals on this. I mean, they had to have gone through some rigorous. I don't know. They had to have at least had mental stability checks. You know what I mean? How did she get past?
I know, right? I mean, some people can fake a test, and I mean, flying colors.
So it's like she would have went after that stuff. She acted like she did. If you watch that episode, so she acted like she did, and that she was going to. And she just pushed it down further and just let it go. I mean, I was like, I would have made sure she would have been swimming. until everything was retrieved.
Right? Or what had a crazy cannibal episode with the rest of the party.
We are kind of hungry here.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of hungry, do you have any meals planned for today?
Actually, yeah. So in light of this, I actually started working towards trying to create some kind of Frankenstein little dish. It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Oh,
It's a quick fix meal. Call it Naked and Affraid one pot wild chicken. Yeah, right. So with that, I've got a video that I'm going to release about it in detail, so everybody can be able to see what it entails. But basically, it's just hey Jessica, how are you? It's actually pretty good. I think I sent you I sent it to you.
Oh, okay. So it's a chicken dish, a one-pot chicken dish.
It is one pot, absolutely one pot.
Okay.
And the reason why I did a one pot was because that's exactly what they have there on the show. And everything that I've done as far as the ingredients are kind of indicative to the show itself. It's inspired by, so therefore, and I've had to do some changes here. And as far as the actual, because I literally made it in 2 days, so it was a rush job.
Oh, good.
But it's let's see, chicken. It's of course wild rice. It has fire roasted tomatoes. It's got garlic. It's got onions. It's got. It takes about 30 minutes to be able to do. It's just the order of operations that you have to do it in, and it has some spinach in that you add to the very last bit. It is. I made it. I can't wait to be able to eat it tonight. I made it right before I came up here and did this. So, everybody's downstairs probably devouring it, and I might get a little bit of grain of rice by the time I get downstairs with the group that's here. But,
right.
Hey,
yeah, and I see that it was a chicken dish, and you did chicken because of Naked and Affraid, right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
so and the naked part?
Skinless.
Oh, okay, skinless.
Skinless chicken.
And
you gotta pay a little bit more for it, but it's well worth it.
Oh, okay. And it's okay. So you've got a chicken or a skinless chicken breast.
Yes. And you're
For
just
Naked
chop
and
it up.
Affraid.
It's about 2 pounds worth of chicken, and I just dumped all of my stuff on the floor.
Well, there
2
he is.
pounds worth of chicken. So you're feeding about 6, depending upon the individuals that if they like to eat, kind of like me, like Toph. I know if he's still out there in the audience. And I know Adam, you like to eat as well.
I do, but I got to take everything moderately.
Oh yeah. But with this, the way I went ahead and did it, it's non-GMO, of course. It's kind of what I prefer to be able to work with. Low sodium. Try to be as healthy with it as possible, and a lot of flavor. Let's see. Yeah, even all the way down to the. It takes unsalted butter, the whole 9 yards. So,
Good. So anybody trying to watch their sodium intake and everything else?
absolutely.
Not a whole lot of salt in this meal, but plenty of flavor.
Plenty of flavor. It does not skimp on the flavor. If you like, it's not spicy. It's not overly spicy. It's just, for me, it's the right kind of spice. But I'm a pepper lover, so.
Okay.
It's not, I didn't make it hot. It is just enough heat and enough sweet to be able to make it.
Yeah, I saw one of the ingredients was fire roasted peppers. So
the tomatoes, the fire roasted tomatoes. It is. It's good, man. It really is. So what do you think as far as a dish, what would you do?
Oh, with the meal?
Oh yeah, what would you indicative to something like this? What would you actually be able to? What would be your idea, or how would you go about making something like this?
Well, chicken is definitely a good choice for protein.
Oh yeah.
But you know me talking about my lotion, I would lather it in some like Greek yogurt or something,
Oh, absolutely.
and then you get a nice coating of that since it's going to be replacing the skinless part. And then yeah, definitely add the salt, pepper. You said you got the what type of seasoning are you using? The Montreal.
Yeah, I use the McCormick's Montreal chicken seasoning, not the steak, but it's got everything that you would need for that particular, for that flavor profile that I was looking for. So I just went ahead and made it easy, and there it is.
Yeah, I'd probably take it to like a Cajun aspect.
Oh, yeah.
And get some Cajun seasoning in it because I know a lot of Cajuns who got some great survival skills.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's
And
part of what I was doing with this, and y'all will see it on the video and everything when I release it. But I use Zatarans, the Zatarans wild rice box, 2 boxes of that, the sides, 2 of the medium sized boxes, and that's it. That's all you need. Plus other things, but yeah,
chicken and rice, good, good flavor. And chicken is so adaptable. You could do anyway, really,
oh, yeah.
and you won't be upset.
Yep, no.
But yeah, like I said, I'd probably go Cajun style with my seasoning. And then rather than just using wild rice, I'd probably do just a dirty rice.
Yeah. Would you go and use like the mix, or would you actually make just from your make a brown rice recipe and then go ahead and add all your seasonings and everything to it?
You know, Zatarain's does a good job with their stuff, so I'd probably just do the same package deal to stick with the one pot deal,
right?
And use dirty rice packaging instead. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really, really good. I thought about it, and I was like, I think my flavor profile, my spices, I think I want to go with wild grain. It's a little bit more unique, I guess. But,
oh yeah. But I think both dishes, yours and mine, would coincide quite well with the whole Naked and Affraid theme.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
yeah.
So
absolutely. I can't wait to actually see if we can get you going on one. I want to be able to taste yours.
I'll see what I can do.
All right, fantastic. So what have we got on here? We've still got. So, are you still here? I know Jessica's here. I think still. Everybody say hey. I'm gonna wave at Jessica real quick. All right, so for anybody else that's out there, what would y'all have as far as y'all's, the one thing that you would be able to take out to whatever location that you're going to? What is your one thing that you feel as though you could survive 21 days with?
Right, and these people don't know where they're going, or do they know where they're going?
They do. They actually do know offhand. What's yeah. So they do know offhand. They kind of let them know what's going on, but they don't necessarily know where they are being dropped off in that particular area. If it's if they went to Belize or if they went to a deserted island or what have you. I mean, they know the location. They just don't know the location within the location. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Hey, Tough, you say air conditioning.
Right.
Nice. But let's say they take you somewhere up in like the Alaskan frontier, tundra area, and right there on the border of the Northern Circle. I mean, you really going to need air conditioning?
Not so much.
Right.
They did do the Frozen and Afraid though. So I guess we could do He's like, I ain't going.
Oh, but come on, you get your 5K for 21 days.
There you go. It's a quick, easy 5K, man.
Yeah, quick and easy. They'll be like that for 12 hours. You do the meet and greet and be like, I'm done. I'm done.
So
It's cold.
Step waist deep out into snow. You're like, no.
Nope.
My nether regions are now in my throat. Thank you very much. I'm out. Peace. No air conditioning required there. You are right, sir. Yeah, that's so let's talk about one thing though. Well, let's talk about order of operations. How would what would you actually do? What would be the first thing that you would want to do if you were on, let's say, a deserted island that has plenty of foliage and everything around you, but of course you're on a deserted island. So what's your number one task? What's the first thing that you want to do?
Open the map.
Oh. Yes, you're right. Open the map.
Because from the show, they give you that one map, and they're like, okay, so many clicks away, we have a designated area for you to get to. And so, yeah, I would go from point A to point B.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's okay, so and from that, Tove. So, first thing, nope. All right, so you
get to the.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, number one priority was to get to the designated area, and of course, taking mental notes along the way: vegetation, animals, if any, this, that, and the other. So,
Absolutely.
but of course, everything would change the second I got to that campsite and realized what I had or did not have there for me.
So would you want to go with shelter first, or would you want to go water source first?
To me, water source.
Okay.
Followed immediately with shelter.
Followed immediately with shelter.
Yeah. Plus, it all would depend on the time that we actually got to the designated area, and depending on my partner. I mean, even that journey from point A to point B could have been crazy, struggling and this, that, and the other, and I realized that she has difficulty in this terrain, or hell, she could be even better than me, and she wants to take that sort of leadership role and everything else. So I'm the type of person that's like, I don't need to be the alpha male. I just want to make sure I survive.
Right. And so that's an awesome perspective. I respect that 100%. And that's something that we actually do see on the show. We've got a lot of people that will sit there and say, no, the first thing that you need to do is first and foremost shelter. It never works. I mean, they never they end up tapping out too quick because they spend too much time. All of their resources that they came there with. I mean, I know that you're fresh and you're running and you can literally get everything together, or you feel as though you're invincible. You can go ahead and get it all done until that night falls. Not first night. Mm-hmm. That usually dictates who's going to be able to make it and who's not. But that's indicative with anything in life, though. I mean, if you've got a job, okay, so. Adam, you have worked in kitchens. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You see somebody come in, they seem kind of wet behind the ears. They start trying to grind, and you know within the first day, they ain't going to make it.
Right. And a lot of times when I did the kitchen work and management and stuff like that, I never wanted to take a new person to the restaurant industry and throw them right in the fire. Right. I mean, a lot of things like, okay, you're on prep work.
This is your station. This is what you do. Do not leave from here.
Yeah. You're going to set us up for success by doing this. Right. And so it's like, I'll bring you on to the team as soon as you can master this part.
There you go.
And so it's basically task management, doing building blocks. and stuff like that. But of course, I got friends in the restaurant industry who prefer the prepping station.
That's what, for anything else.
Yeah, it's like you don't need to stick them on the line or anything like that. They're quite comfortable in the back, behind the scenes.
Just give them the menu and tell them this is what you got. This is what we got to do. Get it done. And they're on top of it.
Yeah.
Hey, Wanda, how are you?
And building a team is very, very important. But like you said, in Naked and Afraid, your team is just you and that other person.
Right. For the most part,
that's your
really
team.
is.
So, and then finding each other's strengths and weaknesses is important, and you can find that out in the first day. But then I also noticed a lot of people dote on their partner's weaknesses, continually pointing them out, this, that, and the other. And I think that's a psychological battle that kills the teamwork right there.
And that's exactly where I want to go next with that. Thank you for hitting that on that point. The psychological aspect of it, your teamwork or your teammate. That when you have somebody okay, you're hungry, right? We understand. You're either hot or cold. You got bugs going around you. I mean, all of us. I've got a temper. I know. I would be like, I'm about ready to snap on anything. I've just got to try to stay focused and keep moving forward. What I have seen is for the people that can literally sit there and say, I've got you 100% throughout this whole entire show, the 21 days, the 40 days, the 60 days, I've got your back. I'm there for you. And I've seen guys that are just amazing. And I've seen females that are just amazing. That I've never even thought for 1 second that an individual could be able to do the amount of stuff that they could be able to do. So, I mean, psychologically speaking, if you need a boost in life and you haven't ever seen this show, I would strongly suggest you watch it just for the mental uplift. Because if you think that you can't do something, watch that show. You'll have a new drive. You really, really will. But, so this is awesome, man. I like the back and forth here.
Well, yeah.
So,
okay. Oh, wait. All right. Here we go. All right. How about in this scenario, you get to choose a person here on the Gulf Coast to go with you to, I will say in this episode, you're going to the Amazon.
Oh, man. Hot, humid,
water, bugs galore, whole 9 yards. You pick one female, because I'm assuming you're going to be the guy. You get to choose one female to go with you. Who would that be?
If I didn't choose Angie, she'd kill me. You know that, right?
Yeah, Angie's great. I've tried to picture out in the wilderness with you.
That was also something that we talked about, though, and that was really funny that you brought that up. We were talking about it last night. She goes, "Baby, I love you, but there's no way. I would just not be able to," because, I mean, they were showing snakes and spiders, and, she's severely arachnophobic. And you go to the Amazon, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Snakes.
So unfortunately, then that means Angie would not be able to go with you, and you would do it so she wouldn't have to deal with the spiders because you care for her so much.
Absolutely.
So who else would you take? Or who else would you meet there?
I don't know, man. To be honest with you, I really don't.
And I think that's a psychological battle as well, because you hear about many, somebody who leaves their significant other behind,
right,
to come do this.
Yeah, they do.
And so the psychological changes that they go through on the show and taking that emotional baggage back into their relationship.
Right.
I mean, I don't know the stats behind it. It's like, do relationships at home continue after someone has gone through some horrific ordeal on this show?
Oh man, they have had. Well, that's some of them actually have PTSD from it. They come back and it's just like being out. They've actually had military individuals that have been in war saying, I went through war, and this is a whole other type of war. This is on top of anything else that I've ever done in my life. This is more strenuous because it's you and the elements and your partner. And if your partner doesn't pull their weight, just like in life, if your partner doesn't pull their weight, then what have you got? You're left there to your own devices. It's all up on you. It's all up to you now. So I guess that's probably why. Yeah. See, James knows it's 100% psychological. The game is 100%. Well, there is some physical attributes to it. I can assure you. But it's all in a mental state, and it's kind of like how mind. If mind doesn't matter, if you don't mind, it don't matter. So ultimately, I mean, here on the coast, it's a good thing that I wouldn't have to choose, because I'd probably just go at it solo. I wouldn't want to drag anybody through it that wouldn't want to do it. You know what I mean? You'd have to show me that you'd want to be there and actually push yourself as hard as I'm pushing, just like in life. And I wouldn't, if there was anybody else that I would rather go through it with, would be Angie. But I know that she would absolutely be terrified, and all I'd want to do is protect her the whole entire time. So I would put myself in greater jeopardy trying to protect her from everything and being able to try to provide and so forth and so on.
Well, and I could see you doing that in the very beginning, but I think as the days progressed and she may have been deterring at the same time, I think you'd be that person and look at Angie and be like, you know what, honey, you just need to tap out. Right. And let me finish this. I will finish this. Go home. Go home. I will finish this for the both of us.
Right. What about you?
So,
who would you take with you?
Yeah. I'm sorry?
Who would you take with you?
Well, see, I was like, after I asked you the question, you gave me your answer. I'm sitting there going, why the heck did I ask him that? Because it's like, I know he's going to turn it back on me. Well, it's like I know so many people on the Gulf Coast from the things that I've done, and it's like, should I take one of my stronger spiritual people, right, or one of the girls I know who has battled through so much and has come so far that I'm sure she could handle a lot of the mental strains that something like this would do. Right. But and then there's like, survivalist skills, stuff like that. Or should I go with the girl who has that carefree mentality? Yeah. That carefree mentality, like you said, is like if it don't matter, yeah, right, it's okay. So I mean, shot, man. yeah, like tough, very tough. That was good. Yeah. So I mean, it's like. It's like, unfortunately, I would not be able to make the indecision. I could probably give the production staff a list, and be like, "You go ahead and pick one, and I'll figure it out. And
that's probably the reason why they actually do the matchup the way they do, as opposed to allowing the contestants to choose who they want to take into battle with them. They just choose one person that. Because it's not always. I mean, they end up the pairings are really kind of weird. I don't know how I've got to do more research on how they do it.
Yeah, that was one thing I was worried about. It's like I've seen her like, this young man gets a survival rating of a 4.3, and his partner has a survival rating of 2.1, and I'm like, really? How's that even?
That's going in.
That's going into this. It's like that's purposely setting up he or she to fail.
Right.
But that could be just another precipice of the show. It's like throw them in the extreme in the beginning,
right,
and
Absolutely.
see how they get through. But yeah, that psycho lady on the XL, I mean, her survival rating must have been really messed up, and to come to the point of throwing the survival gear in the river.
Into the river.
So yeah, bad form.
Absolutely bad form. And that there have been people that have gone in that had their the spiritual aspect like you were talking about. There were individuals that would go on and they were very spiritual, and the whole entire time it was thinking creators, thinking God, thinking everybody, depending upon their specific form of religion, it was all thinking for everything, thinking for the kill, thinking for the thinking for the water, thinking for you watching this show. I have a whole new respect for what we take for granted on a regular basis.
Right.
And a lot of this some of it's staged. There is danger there. They're not in 100% danger because you do have, like we talked about, you do have the production team there, and the production team does actually have weapons and so forth and so on to be able to help them in case they're in such a bind. But there's even talk, and even on the show, and I don't know if it was for production status to be able to raise up views or what have you, but apparently one of the shows, the foreign exchange show, the third show.
Okay.
They had somebody actually got attacked by a crocodile while they were in Africa, and from my understanding, I think the individual probably passed. LA, and that is something that. Man, they nicknamed the water hole that was there the murder hole and everything else. You have to have some form of belief going into this. You have to.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see any other way. What you believe is what you believe. What your spiritual avenue is your spiritual avenue. I am not going to, throw stones at a glass house at all whatsoever. I know what I know, and I feel what I feel. Going out there, I would have to be appreciative every time that I'd wake up that morning. I mean, because you've got people that are going to bed in a hut that is just sticks and leaves. That's it.
If they're lucky to even have it. Yeah.
Right. And they go to sleep. They've been like scorpion bites, snake bites. You got lions trying to tear down, depending upon location, lions trying to tear down your exterior walls. I mean, dude, people are praying. If you do not have some kind of spiritual guidance when you're on that show, you will when you leave. Absolutely, you will have something to that extent when you leave.
Yeah, definitely.
But going back to the order of operations, though, so water has been the downfall on a lot of cases, right?
Yeah.
Much like in life, we don't stay hydrated enough. We have to be able to sit there. We have to, I've had clients throughout my professional career talking to them. I'm like, you need to drink more water. Your body is dehydrated. You got to have this. And, your body is craving it. Well, I've got water in my coffee. I've got water in my tea. I've got water in my whiskey sour, whatever it is.
It's just another form of water. Right.
It's a drink. Yeah, that's not the same, though. But these individuals, you have to have something. They started actually kind of giving them the basics of the training going into these, especially the longer times, the 40 days. You have to have at least a 21 day out of your pocket. You have to have at least done the 21 day before you can qualify for the 40 day. Show that you can actually survive, up your stats, so forth and so on. Yeah, so water is the key. If you don't have water, you don't have an adequate water source, and you don't know how to be able to purify your water out there in the elements, you're not going to make it. I don't care how well your building skills are. I don't care how well your hunting skills are. If you can't find water, the source of all life, if you cannot find that one particular thing, you're done. Game over.
Right.
There's no way.
Yeah, that's right.
What, 3 days? You can survive 3 days without water. The day 2, your body starts shutting down. The third day, that's it. You're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something to be said right there. So, any other points on the show you want to talk about?
Oh, I mean, we've hit quite a few of the points. I mean, the whole rating thing, the psychological damage, physical damage, falls,
Absolutely.
breaks, this, that, and the other. I mean, there's so much taken into the whole concept of being naked and afraid. I was like, some people are just afraid of what they may turn into coming out of the show.
Oh, man, yeah. So some of the things that I've actually seen on the show, I mean, the psychological breakdowns, that's actually pretty big. I mean, you know, we talked about how they go through and they actually kind of dump their emotional baggage when they're starving to death, and, you know, they barely have water to drink. They, you know, day 5 and they don't have food. They just let it all go, right? So you have people that literally they start screaming at the top of their lungs. They start wandering off. They start, you know, doing stuff that they know a normal individual would just be like, look, you know, if you walk away from the campsite at night,
Yeah.
the chances of something happening to you is pretty severe. So you have to kind of take all that into consideration. And some of those people just don't come back. They try to come back, or, you know, maybe 2 or 3 of them I've actually seen. They tried to make another round at it, but they still break. And,
Yeah.
you know, there was one guy that started talking about his childhood, how everybody, you know, he was abandoned as a child. He grew up in foster care. He did this, he did that. He came home one day and his parents were literally gone, just out of nowhere. This dude, all he knew when he first started was himself. That was it. He just relied on himself. He didn't, you know, teammates. You've got 4 other people in your party. This is on Excel. And you don't trust a single one. I mean, I have trust issues, but that's from stuff in my past. But the whole entire thing with him was, at the very end, towards the very end, he literally built a whole nother relationship device mechanism within his life. So psychologically, the show helped him. Can you see that? Can you see something like this with this extreme point? Can you see something like that actually being able to help people so much to the point to where it needs to be a form of maybe, well, so it would need to be a form of, I don't know, mental health, like psychological health. They actually use it for, they would, you know, have a counselor, a survival counselor that would go out there with you and make you go through these attributes. And, you know, you got to work this, you got to do this. I'll help you, but I'm not going to do everything for you. Do you think that would be something that could possibly happen, that it would be good for humanity?
Yeah, actually, I do. I think it's human nature to, when you are pushed to the extreme, some people will either fight it,
right.
Some people will accept it,
right,
and some people will run away. And with that diversity amongst humankind, you start seeing the pairs match up. The ones who will fight it will match up with the ones who will run away, because the ones who will run away will look for the ones who will fight it to protect them, to help them get through it.
Right.
But a lot of times it's like you've got to pressure yourself in those things So in your own mind, you know how far you can go
Right.
for yourself. Because in the end, it's only going to be you, no matter what.
You can have people there support you. You can have people, pat you on the back when you get it done, but they're not going to be there for you while you're doing it. You got to make that grind yourself. You got to push through. You got to be able to be the one to say, I'm going to do this come hell or high water. I am all about this. And then you've got other people that look at it and be, well, you're being selfish. You're thinking all about you. You're not looking out for other people or what have you.
Well, and then a lot of times I hear that argument as well, and I'm like, no, I'm not selfish and everything else. I'm more the longest like I have to know that I can do this myself before I can bring you along.
Right. If I know I can stand on my own 2 feet, then I know that everything else is going to be okay.
Yeah, I can bring those other people on this journey with me to get them to that point and beyond. It's like I'm not doing it for myself. I'm going to be doing it for y'all. So, and I think that's a big of the psychological aspect, because it's like maybe at home some of the contestants were having difficulty with their relationships with their significant other. So they go out into this wilderness with a complete stranger. And then maybe during that time they learn how to connect with other people, and they end up taking that knowledge back to their significant other at home and really learning to listen, take mental notes, and actually connect and fall in love. It's like what they say, you don't really know how much you love something until it's gone. Right. And it's those same people who were brought to like the edge of death in some cases. Right. Believe nothing is there for me. But when they get back home, their eyes are open to the fact that they've had someone in their life that has wanted to be there the whole time. Right. And I think that gets a lot more strength building, anything that. And it's like, maybe that was the reason why they were volunteered or put their life on the line to go do a show like this, is because they wanted to get something that would help them out relationship-wise with the person that they love. Very true. I can see that. Absolutely. And that is basically what this show is all about, though. It's just nothing but what can we bring to the table? What can we, and it's indicative to life again. What can we do to be able to strive? And, I want to be the one to finish this. I want to be able to do it not only for myself, but I want to, when they get into XL, I guess the evolution of it is fantastic to actually be able to watch. When they first started, it's all about me. I can do this. I've got this. I am the baddest mamma jamma, the man. I've got, I can do this with my, hands down, no worries. I'm going to cruise through 21 days. Day 15, they're crying to their mom. Day 15, they're in a ball in the corner of the hut, crying because they don't have food. They barely have water, or the water that they have is so toxic that it's making them purge every few seconds, and they've got some kind of strange disease or something that they never even took that into consideration. And that, to me, is just like life. You could run through life when we're kids, man. You remember back in high school, we were balls to the wall, sorry for the phrase, but we were just, grab the bull by the horns, run with it, and just go. Damn the consequences. Well, I mean, when we were the consequences. Well, it's like when we were in high school, we were drinking water out of the garden hose. Exactly. We were out on the streets and the playgrounds, falling off the monkey bars, torturing each other on the seesaw, playing contact football on Thanksgiving. I mean, that was with no pads. And I mean, but
Right.
that's
And
how
what do
we
the kids
work.
do today? They complain because they don't have a Wi-Fi signal. You know?
Yeah. Or the Wi-Fi password. Even if they get to a new
Right.
location at a restaurant, they're like,
Do
"Mom,
they?
Dad, what's the password? I need to." And it's like you're with family. Get
Put the
involved.
phone down.
And
Put the
it's like
tablet down.
and you don't want to stick it and say, "Oh, it's just millennials or Gen X or anything," because some people in our generation have evolved into just being multimedia dependent, and I'm like, why don't you just disappear for 21 days
Right.
as we drop you somewhere and see if all those skills of Google have made you aware.
Hey,
So I
how are you?
mean, so it's interesting to see someone with absolutely no survival skills being put into a position like that. But most people without survival skills won't even sign up for a show like that, even though what they could get out of it would be more beneficial than
Right.
anything else.
And that's that's where I was coming from as far as the therapy. It
Yeah.
doesn't happen in 21 days. You know,
No.
I mean, everybody, there's, just spend a week out there.
Yeah.
Find you and somebody that can be able to take care of you if in case something went wrong. Have that as a therapy session. You're out there. You can't run away from your problems. You have to eventually talk about what's going on. If not, then what are you going to talk about? What are you going to do?
Right, and it's like we were talking about the pairings and the ratings, this, that, and the other. It's like you're not going to know if you're going to end up with like a perfect pairing, where
Right.
the pairing is going to have to be something that you really have to work at. But being willing to go through that process,
Right.
for just a week, for a lot of people, I think would be very beneficial.
Absolutely.
To everybody. I mean, just watching this show, it's like, with the population of the world, it's like 2 people out of so many million or billion, it's like, are going through this. And it's like, and they try and share that experience with other people. It's like, you could talk about an experience, but actually participating in that
Right.
type of experience, 2 different things.
Absolutely. So you and I both like food, right?
Definitely.
Everybody likes
Definitely.
food. Kind of something we all enjoy, some more than others. Me, of course, because that's his face. I'm kind of tubby. But what?
No, I said nothing. I said nothing.
It is what it is. I accept it. It's fine. I enjoy food.
People do call you Big Bear, so I mean,
There you go. Okay, so let's talk about what they actually have to eat out there. Stuff that we wouldn't even remotely think about. I mean, yeah, okay. So there's guys that are out there that hunt on a regular basis. There's a lot of people that are out here, especially in the South, hunting.
Trappers, hunters,
right?
Yeah,
hunters, fishers, or fisher people. We won't just go ahead and say women or men.
Yeah, it's people who fish, those in the wildlife, those who hunt, gather. Yeah, we've got a plethora of that here in Mississippi.
Absolutely. So when you get those individuals that are out there, it's like they are the ones that's all they want to be able to do. They just want to be able to hunt, bring the food home. An endangered bird on the show. I'd have to look that one up, bud. I don't know offhand. If you want to look that up and give us an answer, that would be a great thing. I know that when they were in Africa, they were getting upset because they could not kill the crocodiles that were, swarming around their campsite and stuff at night, which, all of us would have been like, protect and crocodile. I mean, hey, alligator's good, man. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. That's actually decent meat.
Some of that tail meat, yep.
So
Make a boot.
Right. So, I mean, for that, it's I don't know. They have things that they can and cannot do. Animals that they can and cannot kill. I do know that, but I don't know if somebody actually did kill something that was endangered.
Yeah, and it's like, did the lawyers tell the crocodiles they couldn't kill us either? I mean, come on.
They didn't get the memo, man. Just to let you know.
I mean, you're telling us we can't kill them, but they sure as heck can infiltrate our camp and kill us. Something about that just doesn't seem fair.
So they, some of the stuff that they would actually eat is stuff that we wouldn't even consider here. Bugs, insects, for that matter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can't be choosy.
Right? I mean, protein to protein. If you're starving, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like,
at that point, there is one guy that is known for his scavenging skills. I don't know if you would necessarily call it skills. He would find like a leopard kill. And sometimes it's a roll of the dice. As long as his whole thing is, as long as rigor mortis isn't set in, I'm good to go. I'm like, dude, if it's full of maggots and it's been out in 100-degree heat all day.
But even maggots are edible in some cases.
Thank you. Okay, so that was where I was fixing to go. Would you choose to eat the maggots over the rotting flesh? I know that's gross, y'all. I'm sorry, but the reality is that's how I would go.
It also depends on, do we have fire? Because if the fire is going, it's like a lot of the bacteria and all that stuff you're talking about, you could just cook it off. Make it so you're chewing on leather and you're still getting the protein. But even the maggots themselves, yeah, I just probably just pop them in like Lion King and call it grubs and just and get protein that way. I mean, the leopard would just be extra. It's like, how far away from camp is it? Do I want to drag the carcass back? Do I have the knife with me to shave off this, that? So many different things. But while I'm thinking all this, I'd probably just take maggot after maggot and just pop them in my mouth. Going, that's going to be good, I think, yeah.
You would say, I mean, I understand you can cook off some of it, and they did, and that was his whole entire point. I've got a fire back at the hut. I'll just cook off any of the bacteria. Most of the time, he was still sick. He was like really bad sick. He would eat to the point to where he would get sick, then turn around and start eating it again.
That's the thing. That whole moderation is like every time I watch like a survival show or this like that, they say if you are not sure how it will affect your body,
right,
take one bite.
Yeah.
Wait like 30 minutes, 45 minutes to see how it affects you.
Right.
If only then you feel safe, take another bite, but never rush in and do anything. Yeah. Don't gorge through it. Be smart about what is presented to you. And it's like a lot of times I saw them where they would find a water source, but they wouldn't realize that water source actually had bacteria in it, and they wouldn't boil the water off first. They would just jump right in and drink it, and I'm like, that was a mistake.
Absolutely.
But it's like but a lot of the things that I've seen on different Survivor shows, it's like, okay, I know this, I know this, I know this, I know not to do this, but it's like I can't. Here's a funny thing: I don't watch Survivor anymore.
I haven't ever watched it
because it's not surviving anymore. They actually, where they put these people, they actually have a water well.
Really?
That they can go to every morning.
Wow.
And get their water. They also provide bags of rice.
Wow.
No matter where they're going, they get back. But it's more for them.
It's Naked and Affraid with government assistance, is it?
Yeah, pretty much. The cameraman is helping. Oh no, but no. In survival, they're mostly doing it for the social aspect of it.
Oh.
Yeah, they're talking. They want to see alliances, problems,
the drama aspect.
liars. Yeah, the whole social conglomerate of those different aspects. While, Naked and Afraid, you got two people. Go ahead and survive. We're not giving you anything except this pouch and the one item this one item you wanted to bring with you, and a map, and say in 21 days be here,
right,
and we'll pick you up.
Yeah,
so
and if you're not there, sorry, you missed the boat.
Yeah, you missed the boat, the helicopter, the pontoon plane,
right.
Whatever. You done.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
But it's like I see the backstories to other shows like Survivor. It's like, oh, they got voted out of the tribe. Well, then they get shucked over to the tent in the same area that has, all the food, all this, that, and the other.
Oh, wow. They just push them over the next one, huh?
Yeah, just pushes them over there until they have to come back for a tribal council and everything else. But we can talk about that show for forever at a different time. Right now, I think just focusing on the psychological damage and the physical struggles Naked and Afraid has done for so many people. And I mean, if you think about it, you say we'll just say it's gone through 10 seasons, and you got 13 episodes, 13, 14 episodes in each season.
Roughly,
and you got 2 people in each of that. That's 26 times 10, so 260 people have either had a negative or positive outcome from doing this show for $5,000.
That's it.
That's
and the recognition of being able to do it.
Yeah, and a higher rating at the end of the show. if you do it.
If they complete. If they don't, then
if you don't complete, that voiceover comes over and they're like,
right.
Well, after 6 days, his survival rating was a 4.2. But after falling victim to mosquito bites and tapping out, John now has a rating of 3.7.
Yeah.
It's like, thanks.
Yeah. And that's, some of the people there, I have noticed that there are some, and just like how professional athletes, football players, basketball players, baseball players, not necessarily in that order, but that they are so focused on their stats. They want that stat rating. They have to be able to work that stat rating. And they go into this wanting their stats to be high, and a lot of them do. I mean, I think one of them, 2 or 3 of them actually have a stat rating of 9 in the 9s. I mean, they're 9.6.
I haven't seen any of those episodes. Most of the ratings I saw were 5s and 6s that went up to 7 and 8s.
If you want to watch the All-Star on the All-Star on XL. Actually, I think it's close to around season 5, maybe.
Okay.
You get a really good idea of the ones that are in it, and they know they have a better feel for the game, and they go in there and they really push. They've got some guys. They had one guy that literally, Matt, he started off by himself on a 40-day challenge. Dropped off by himself. All he had was a bow, a knife, some other stuff like a pot and stuff to be able to put water in. And man, by the time he actually met up with the other parties, he had so much meat that I think he was dragging close to around 80 pounds worth of meat on him that he had actually made into jerky. That he was. He walked up and he was like, "Hey, what's up, everybody?" They're all starving. They're emaciated. They're all laying up, and he's just like, "What's going on?"
We're gonna change your name to Hallelujah,
right? He's like, "You want food for everybody." So, yeah, I think, as a society, I think this show is actually pretty good. So survival rating dropped to that of 81 baby. Yeah, well, so I think, knowing you for as long as I have known you, sir, I think you probably do a little bit better than that. But you as well, Adam, I think you would actually do better than that as well.
I'm picturing Toph showing up with his one item being like the chainmail that he makes. And he's like just walking, and it's like, I may be naked underneath this chainmail, but I'm going to be all right.
He's like, okay, a month-old baby. All right, yeah, we'll give you that much, a month-old baby. This, no, but the show really is, it's really nice to be able to actually watch, and when I fell down into the hole watching this thing, I really did fall way down into the hole, and I just could not get away from it. It was just so intriguing. And I know that some of it is staged. It's going to have its drama points. They want to be able to keep the ratings up. I get that. But
yeah,
you can tell what is meant for drama and what is not meant for drama, unlike Survival or any of that other large knife, me without a knife is like, yes, exactly. And I'm sure I'm the same way with that. That's the first thing that I'd want. I have to have a knife. I'll make everything else how I need to make it, whittle it if I have to, but I am bringing a knife. So yeah, now I've lost my point. My train of thought derailed. I'm looking for survivors. Hang on. I'll return after these messages.
right.
Well, throw the lifeline there, Adam. Come on, man. Help me out.
Well, it's like I'm sitting there and just reading the rest of what Toph said. It's like a crackhead without crack. And I was like, now I'm picturing some crackhead on the show. And they're like, what item did you bring? He's like, I brought crack. I was like, well, that's one way. He's like, that's one way of handling the psychological damage that this show can do. It's like, he just forgets everything. He'd be like, here's a crocodile. I'll get it. There's something else going on. He's like, I'll get it. He's like, he become like the gopher of the show. I'm like, go get it. I just don't want him wigging out at camp and throwing all our supplies in the river.
Right. Yeah, because, that has happened, of course. So, Virginia City cleaned up. Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
The locations that these people go to, though, they went to Louisiana, as a matter of fact, and went up to the swamp in Louisiana. And this is later on I think, on Excel. They basically, it was all-stars. Everybody that was there had pro ratings. They had, they had gone through, they have done many challenges. A few of them haven't tapped out at all. So that's going through their 40 or their 21, 40, and now they're on this 60-day challenge, and they're pushing for it. Not tapped out, they have literally gone through and survived everything that whatever location is thrown at them, eaten whatever they needed to eat, and do what they needed to do. And, they have, I don't know, to me, it's like they have conquered themselves more so than the location, because you have to fight yourself no matter what. You have to fight your mental state, while you're sitting there getting eaten alive by no-see-ums or mosquitoes or the scorpion bites or the centipedes chewing on you, and, oh my God, is that one at least 12 inches long? If it is, game over, that kind of thing. Trying to work past all of that, getting past your fears.
Yeah.
That, to me, is probably the biggest thing to take away from the show, is to just conquer your fear and do it. That's what I'm doing here with doing stuff like this, and trying to go into voiceover and everything. I'm trying to conquer my fear. The whole I'm never going to be good enough. I'm not good enough to be able to do this. I'm not this. I'm not that. The constant downing of myself, and this is something that I'm using to be able to well, to beat myself in the game. I have to get past that whole entire fear aspect. And you've had to do that. I mean, you've been on stage before. I've been on stage before, but I had a group of people I could hide,
Hey, sometimes the chorus member is the important part of that show.
Right.
But it's a lot of people just like, yeah, in theater, it's like I do like the lead roles, but there's a lot to be said about being a support cast member.
Right.
And it's like, if you weren't there to help influence the leads or everything else, those leads will not be in the light that shines as bright. It's like doing things by your own is all fun and games, but you do need that support. And we've hit that same point several times in this conversation. It's like no matter what you do in life, you need that support. And it's like now I'm seeing a lot of times relationships amongst my friends that are falling apart. It's because they're losing that support from their significant other. But it's like maybe they needed to go through this to become better people. So,
but you can't see that while you're in that point, though. When it's happening to you at that particular point in your life, you can't see the forest for the trees. Sorry.
Right. You have to get to the other side.
Right.
You have to sort of build yourself into an all-star of your own life to be able to recognize who is going to support you and who is going to be there for you and who you want to be there for.
Absolutely.
So it's like everything you go through has a lesson, and you can either learn from it or you're just going to end up playing dumb.
Right. You're doomed to repeat the same situation, regrettably. So, Carrie, the danger noodles, the note ropes are definitely something that, I've had to deal with them being out, hiking and stuff like that. The snake bites are not fun, by the way.
Oh, that's a danger noodle?
That's a danger noodle.
It's a snake.
Snake.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay. That's
interesting. That's what
I read Danger Noodles and I'm like, what? And then I remember a T-shirt that I had that says "Send nudes," and I'm like, I don't think our term of noodles and nudes are the same thing right now. So okay. Danger Noodles are snakes. Is that the southern vernacular of Gulf Coast, Mississippi? Danger Noodles are yardsticks.
I think that has a very strong influence on that particular phrase. Yes.
Okay, I guess Southerners have an interesting way of changing everything and giving it new terms. So okay,
it's just like when I'm from Northeast Mississippi, and when I moved down here and I saw y'all eat crawfish, I'm like, those are mud bugs. That's what we call them. And when I said mud bugs, everybody was like, wait, what? Well, what do you mean? Well, they live in mud. And they're not a bug, I understand, but we call them mud bugs. So,
but even Southerners argue with themselves. Is it a crawfish, or is it a crayfish, or is it a mud bug? And like, it's food. And then they pull out this whole suck the head thing. That threw me a loop for the first time I ever heard that. Someone told me to suck the head. I was like, well, what? Yeah.
That's not the
they're like, eat the tail and suck the head. I'm like, something is wrong about eating this little miniature lobster. So
absolutely. And so Toph gave us the breakdown of it. The note rope is a non-venomous snake. Danger noodle is a venomous snake.
Oh,
thank you for the clarification.
Well,
I just consider all of them note ropes.
We've now become a learning channel.
There you go. See, the more you know.
The more you know.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, you should hear some of the names. Toph, yeah. Toph is a very unique character in a loving way. Love you, brother. Really, seriously, you're a great guy. You're funny as hell.
So, Southern fried, I like to say.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so going back to what they're eating though, yes, but that's okay. We use that as an endearing term. You are weird. I am weird. Adam is weird. We're all weird here. But I think that we've played that multiple times.
Yeah, but there is a Southern phrase that I cannot stand. I don't like it used in my presence.
Okay.
Never, ever, 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 ever tell me, bless your heart.
I know, right? It's because it's a twisted meaning. It's like 3 different meanings for that one particular phrase.
Right, and to me, that is always going to be the FU of Southerners.
Right, yeah, that's exactly what I take it as. As soon as I hear bless you, no, just shut up. Just don't say another word, go away. Your presence is no longer required. Thank you.
That's right, that's right. So it's another one of those Southern things where one phrase has so many meanings.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that's a whole...
That's also the reason why there's a lot of government officials that are actually from the South, because they're able to talk out of both sides of the mouth. Yeah.
Oh, yep.
All right. So going back to what they were eating, man. So I know some of the stuff that I would really like to be able to try. One is Impala. I would love to be able to eat an Impala. I mean, I'm sure it would taste kind of like deer, but I don't know. Venison, Impala venison. I think I'm all about that. It is not nice. Blessed is your nice praise. Why not just say that's nice? I don't.
The only time I use the word bless is in a sentence is if someone sneezes.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that I say bless.
Right.
Or actually, since we're talking about food, I always use the word bless when I'm saying grace.
There you go.
Those are the only time I use the words bless. Never in the phrase bless your heart, bless his heart, bless her heart. You're just cussing out everybody, trying to make them feel stupid. At least,
cuss again. Oh, that's nice and too generic for me. I get the generic aspect of it. Yeah.
But we're in the South, Kerry. We got to keep it simple. That's nice.
Right. That's nice. That's nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Way to go. Good job. That's nice.
Yeah. High five.
Right. And not to mention the fact that you're talking about guys here. So when that comes down to it, when guys are oblivious, we don't take hints very well for all of the men that are out there that have significant others, and those that don't. I don't. You have to literally. This is the direction in which you need to go. I need you to go. I need you to do this. Don't hit around to it. Just tell me straight off the bat. This is it. This is what you got to do. Okay, fine.
I think a lot of it is tell me point A and point B.
Right.
That's it.
But that's nice coming from me. It can't be mean too. Yeah. Kerry, I've known you for a long time. Yes. You are sweet when you want to be, and you could be quite the opposite if absolutely necessary.
Yeah, but talking on the whole psychological aspect of that, you ever hear of the Myers-Briggs exam, where it says like there's 16 different combinations where you're like an introvert or an extrovert?
Yes.
Yeah.
Psychological profile exam, kind of. Yeah,
the multiple profile exam. Yeah, and they're like, and they looked at me and they're like, oh, okay, Adam, it looks like you can get from point A to point B, but you're going to do this to get there. And I'm like, well, yeah, as long as I get there.
Absolutely, and that's I guess that's my perspective too. I'll get there when I get there. From point A to point B doesn't matter how I get there, just as long as what it is that is required from point A to point B or my end goal Yeah, as long as I get there, it doesn't matter how I do. As long as it's
But then the opposite of you and me are the ones who are like, okay, I'm going to get from point A to point B. They just go, whoop.
right.
They just take that straight line.
Right.
They're going from here to here. I'm not going to get distracted. I'm not getting distracted. I'm going from here to here. There's nothing that can make me look off the path. And, you know, it's like, all for it. All for it. You know, some people are like that. Can I be with someone like that? As long as they understand that we are going to be taking different paths to get to the same spot, we're okay. And as like I said, with Naked and Afraid, what's the first thing I need to do?
Right.
Open the map.
And that's,
Open the map.
yeah.
Because if they said, okay, we have a campsite for you, but they did not give me a map,
right.
I would be walking all over that island or all through that desert going, I'll get to the campsite eventually.
I need to find the
But I will get there. I will get there.
Yes, absolutely. And I've seen shows, some of the shows where they have, you know, the map, your location in which you need to be is here, you are here, they go over here to go to the camp. I don't really understand why you're making that harder. I would rather just kind of go here and maybe jog over a little bit in either way. But
I've never seen a key on the map.
There's never been a key, I don't think.
Yeah, so I don't think there's a north or anything else. They'll just basically have, like, you know, Middle Earth sketchings on it where they'll have, like, mountains
yeah.
and maybe a couple trees here and there, and maybe that one, you know, noticeable landmark, and they're like, all right, find your way. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready to pull an Indiana Jones map thing and have the little red arrow over me going, beep.
Right, exactly. Just doing the dotted line as you're
doing the dotted lines, like Indiana Jones with the theme song kicking in the background. Right. You know, it's like, I'll get there. Da, 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 da. But it's like, I'll get to point B.
Oh, yeah. It's just going to have to be your way.
Yeah, exactly.
Understood.
So it's like, and that's the interesting thing. And it's like, my partner better be that red arrow.
Right.
Or it's like, I'm going to be on the Middle Earth going all over the place.
Yeah. I totally understand. See, and Angie can't stand the fact that I'm one of those that I have got to have a plan of action. Damn near every day that I go out or do something, if I've got to, even if I'm driving somewhere, I know how to get there. I still got to have a plan of action. What have I got to do prior to going? What all do I have to have? And I still forget stuff. And I, you know, walk around aimlessly for quite some time before I actually go. But I still have to have a plan. I can't move unless I have developed a plan of action.
Right, right.
With the plan of action, that is it. And I work on my own time frame.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like if they need you to get somewhere at a certain time, they need to give you the deadline. They're like, They need to be like, Barry, this is when we need this.
Yes.
And you will map it out.
Absolutely.
How you need to get there. So.
Yeah. Absolutely, you will have it. But if you don't set a deadline, it may be later than sooner. Okay, so he's straight and narrow.
Yep. Yeah. He's Indiana Jones, red arrow, saying you're going to go to here, then you're going to go to here, and you're like, I will get here, but there's so much to do.
Oh yeah, so many different things to be able to look and see. I mean, you know. And that's kind of indicative to life, too. I mean, you know, we have goals, we set goals. And they taught us that. I mean, they taught us from day one, set your goals, move towards your goal, and, you know, everything would work in theory.
Yeah.
They didn't give you make sure to always have a plan B, because plan A isn't necessarily going to work the way you drew it out.
Right. And it's like sometimes, you know, I feel like the kid on the leash, you know, where I got my little vest on and the leash is on my chest and the person guiding me is going straight. and I'm in the back going, and you know, a lot of people accuse me of being a big kid and stuff like that. It's like I'm. It's not that I'm a big kid. It's like I don't want to give up on my imagination or my thought process.
But you're a creative person.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate
You're welcome. Not a problem at all whatsoever. I've known you for a long time. So, yeah, I'm very comfortable in saying you are a creative person. But yeah, it's it's fine to be able to, I feel it's fine to be able to have that attribute.
Yes.
If you're walking through life and you just, all of a sudden, hey, look, I got to try this avenue out. If you're looking at it from a learning perspective, which, life is just that, everything learning. You need it
right.
Are you good?
No.
Okay.
No, it's just handling. My mom was walking in and she's like, did this person call you? And I'm like, no. It's like I'm staring at my phone. I'm like, did I miss a phone call? It's like, no.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to get it even right now anyway.
I know, right? So it's all good. But yeah, like you're saying, you got to appreciate everybody because I think everybody brings something to the table.
Yes.
And I think that's why the Survivor shows and stuff like that really encompass that everybody has something to contribute. Even if it's something dumb, you will know not what to do. Right.
But it's a learning experience. You had to learn to be able to get to that, I don't need to do this. I'm hard-headed. I've actually had people, my parents, tell me, this is what you need to do. Don't do this. I've still done it. But, it wasn't, Some people bring being dangerous and edible bait to the table. Yeah, true. Yeah,
yes.
You do have those individuals.
Yes, tough. There are some people who deserve to become bait. We
call them scouts. That's
right. Sometimes to catch the redfish, you got to cut up some trout.
Yeah.
Don't cut bait.
Yeah, me hard-headed? No, I just said that to TV. I am set in my way in more than one way. Yeah.
No, sorry, Tough. Yeah. Tough, we're not going to be talking politics. No politics. It's politic-free zone.
Well, I have actually buttered out those words a couple of times, so we'll give it to him.
Oh, watch yourself. Watch yourself, Barry.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody
I have to behave. I have to behave now. My warden is now online.
I'm okay. We're teaming up. I'm going to help you survive.
Awesome. Thank you. I know. I got your back. You got my back. We got this together, man. 21 days.
Yeah. Hey, we're not doing this naked and afraid.
Right. No. Wait, what? Pacific which side?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See, he's trying to ring us back into the talk of politics.
I know it. And, maybe eventually if we find a political movie to do or a political show, then we might actually be able to work that in.
No, wait. I'll answer this question. To dear Angie, no, Barry has not done anything at all to get himself in trouble. We were actually talking about the show Naked and Afraid, and I asked him, who would he bring with? Yes, your name did come up as somebody he would bring, but the second you started freaking out about the spiders, he'd send your butt home.
And, yeah, sorry, but that is the reality.
Yeah, so, nothing in trouble. We're just being truthful to one another, to everybody who's watching the show. And it's everybody's contributing. Oh, wait. Well, at least Carrie's happy now. We got another female in the group.
Right. Yep.
She felt lonely.
Right. She would be right behind him with the snakes. So she would be with the snakes too, man. As soon as she saw a snake, that's it. It didn't matter if it was poisonous, not poisonous. It doesn't matter. She would be walking on water, so to speak.
Wait. I remember the term. Nope ropes. Not dangerous. Nope ropes. Dangerous. What's the dangerous ones? The ones that are
Danger noodle.
danger noodle. That's right. Send nudes.
Yep.
Got it.
Nope.
Danger noodles.
Okay, so another point on that show that I've actually been reading on some of the research that I was doing is that some people were talking about, they just wanted to be able to do this show because they wanted to be able to hook up with somebody. I was like, okay, hold on a second. Put yourself in this situation. You don't have toilet paper. You're not able to take a shower. Getting turned on at that particular point in time, I don't think that would be on either party. I know guys, me personally, if I ain't got a shower, I don't even want to be around me. So,
and knowing my luck, I would have been paired with a woman who could whip my tail and turn me into cut bait. So it's like I don't think about getting a relationship together on that show. So
Carrie's like, I'm out on the shower. All right, let's see. The only way you would get me on that show would be knocking
unconscious
and stuff. At the moment I woke up, run for your life. Yeah. I wouldn't. I did tell him that you would not go on that show. That we did talk about. That was a topic of conversation. Although I would very much enjoy it if you went on this with me, if in fact I did, which I'm not. But if anybody called that, I would, however, enjoy having you out there with me because I know you got my back, baby.
Well, yeah, I think actually y'all would be doing okay in the tundra setting.
Okay.
Because there wouldn't be any spiders.
Right.
Right.
Well,
and you got some affectionate hugs going on to keep yourselves warm.
Right.
So I think you would last better in a cold environment rather than the Nile or desert climate. So
I definitely would. I am one of those that I enjoy my cold.
Yeah.
I
So
cannot stand the heat.
So I think the location would be the important part on if or when you would take Angie with you.
Well, she wouldn't go with the cold.
Oh, really?
She can't stand cold. She would be. I love you. I'm just telling you the truth. No, she wouldn't do cold. No spiders, no snakes. Got this right, but there are still frigid cold. You'd have to snuggle. You'd have to have something to wrap yourself up with. You'd have to have fire. You'd have to have a camp. Those things would be. That's whether or not you're surviving. That's just it.
And I think trapping skills would be important in that type of environment, rather than the hunting. Rather than the hunting part, I think trapping is more important because I don't think you want to veer off so far on the hunting because I know people can hunt for miles and miles and miles. And like trapping, you bring it to you and you try and entice it to come to you. So I think those skills would pay off. So it's like, I think as long as maybe if I did research before I had to go to find out what I could learn to be more useful, if I found out and prepare, then I think I'd do okay. But I know, like you said earlier, is like, you've got point A, but always have a backup plan because it's never going to go out the way you think it is.
Well, look at it like this. People that jump from airplanes, they have two parachutes.
Yeah, yeah.
There's all. I need that second parachute. I've got to have a plan B in life, man. If I don't have a plan B, I am terrified.
Yeah, yeah. And then if parachute A and parachute B don't open, the last thing that's going to go through my head is my butt. I mean,
Yeah, I'm like an insect in the windshield.
Bam. But
Well, I mean,
I would definitely be thinking about
screaming. I would probably see how many flips I could do before I hit the bottom.
right.
I mean,
Right.
if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out and having fun.
Exactly.
See if I could actually make myself throw up as I'll get.
There you go. And I definitely have a little camera on my forehead.
Oh yeah, and make sure that the camera has to survive somehow, some way, because somebody's going to want to see it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would try and avoid rocks.
Yeah. That's Mythbusters has done a lot of stuff that falling from great heights, and we could always do something like that later on. I think Mythbusters show is gone, but much to my sadness.
I know.
I was a fan of the show. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was a fan of the show. I mean, Discovery had a lot of good shows. I mean, you got they did Mythbusters for a while. They did a Dangerous Catch.
River Monsters. They did that.
Yeah.
Was that Discovery or was that History? River Monsters.
Oh yeah. I mean, both of those shows are really good. And I mean, also you got another show I liked was Forged in Fire. Since we're talking about knives and stuff like that.
Right. Yes. I love Forged in Fire. That's artisan. I have to respect that art. I mean, that is. I don't like fire. I don't like extreme amount of heat. But I would be a blacksmith.
Oh yeah.
I find some way to be able to keep myself cool. I enjoy that. That is, to me, that is art. You probably go cattle because I get hungry, and some of those people wouldn't be my burger club. And yeah, I think there was a couple of jokes that was actually made on the show on that particular thing. Yes, Forged in Fire is awesome.
I think someone got kicked off the show. I think I saw one where someone got kicked out because they made that threat of killing their partner, and they're like, yeah, I feel as though my life is in danger, and they removed the other person. So
that's psychological break, you know. I mean, but it's the reality of it is, I mean, you know, that's in a survival situation. It's been tested. Yeah, we did. I mean, it's you know, you get up in the mountains, nobody's around. Somebody passes. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and like I said, I think the government is watching this show, and they're watching the people who pass.
Regulations. Man, look, if you're not on some kind of watch list by now.
Yeah, but it's like they're watching the XLs and the ones who progress from 21 day to 30 day to 60 day. When they see that 60-day mark, they're like, okay, let's bring them into the space program. We're about to launch them out on their own and give them this map and say, do it, you know?
Right. And that's, I mean, I know that is something that we're going to do. We're eventually going to get up there. We're going to occupy Mars, and, you know, it's going to be something. I don't know if it'll ever happen in our lifetime.
No, it's definitely going to happen. You're right. Maybe not in our lifetime, but if we start getting that mentality now and teaching future generations this, that, and the other, we're going to be at the point where we're going to be going like cryo for like 150 years of sleep and then wake up and have to colonize a whole new planet and all that jazz.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I've been watching my Star Trek and my Star Wars. I've been watching.
Here's my fan right here. Yeah, so So we do want to be able to continue doing this. So our next show that we want to be able to do, though, this is where we will have Adam choose the show, and he gets to choose the show, and he gets to choose the recipe. If you want me to be able to post it, I can be able to make the video for you and all that other kind of fun stuff. But I wouldn't have a problem with it at all. I'll help you out the best way I can.
No problem. But you're gonna put the video for the skinless, boneless chicken, right?
Absolutely. I'm going to make it. I'm going to go ahead and do the voiceover for it, the whole 9 yards. It'll take me a couple of days to be able to do it, but I will, and it will be posted on Facebook. It'll be posted on my TikTok page as well, and it'll be posted on my Instagram.
Yeah,
So,
I don't have a Facebook page or a TikTok page. I'll just hold on to your coattails.
we need to get you a TikTok page, man.
Yeah,
I know.
Well, I mean, my TikTok is _mad_minion. So
there you go.
So if you want to find me on TikTok, just look for a mad minion. So that's me on TikTok. But yeah, get that recipe up. I can't wait to try it, and then I'll try and do my Cajun style one as well, and then I'll come up with something to talk about next week. I think I got a few ideas up in this noggin of mine, and we can definitely hit on that next week.
Very, very good. Only watch shows on Tuesday and Wednesdays now. I'll work half. This is why we're doing this. For those of you that have to work all the time, I do, we are in a position currently that we can, in fact, and we enjoy doing this. I know I do. I can't speak for Adam on this. But
tell your friends. Everybody tell your friends.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We do want to make this a normal thing. So, we'll do this. We'll do podcasts. We'll just be creators. We'll just have all kind of fun. So if there are shows that y'all want to be able to know a little bit more about, we will go through, we'll do the research, we'll watch a few of them, see if we can, please don't make it like Sex and the City or something where I'll be banging my head against the wall the whole entire time that I'm watching it. Make it at least something.
You give me a Trump pick, I'm going to put it in my own place. That Sex and the City will become Sex on the Beach.
Right. There you go.
And I'll put a drink special together.
There you go. Do that.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. You try to twist me, I'll twist it right back, people.
Do not make me watch some rom-com.
Right.
All right. No, you know what to make me watch. No.
Yeah, no. We don't have to watch it. We're taking these as suggestions.
I will do exactly what you do, baby. Whenever I'm watching something that you don't want to watch, I will be eyes deep in my phone or tablet, and I will be doing my own thing. My headphones on, the whole 9 yards. I won't have to necessarily see what it is. Okay, so Carrie has a great drink recipe. What is it?
Oh, wait. Well, since today was our first episode,
right,
and we went with Naked and Afraid.
Yes.
And the meal was boneless, skinless chicken.
Right.
Unfortunately, I think the drink of the day, we're going to keep it simple. Water.
There you go. Perfect.
For Naked and Afraid, it is water.
Liquid Valium? Okay.
Nope.
What in the world? Okay. Yeah. That's, All right. Yeah, please do that. Go right ahead. Send us recipes if you want to send us recipes. Send us anything. Water, big fan. Yeah, huge fan of water. Absolutely love water. It is a good thing. I notice my body likes to work a lot better with it than without it.
That's right. So, all right. So
Okay.
I think this was a pretty good episode, Bear.
It was, man. Thank you very much for being a part of it. And thank all of y'all for being on with us. Come back next time. We're going to do this, every Wednesday?
Yeah, we could probably do every Wednesday until, I go back to teaching school, but we'll definitely find some times to get together and put these up on Facebook Live and on our TikTok accounts, and we can definitely go from there. So
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. And again, we can't do it without y'all, so make sure to tell your friends, make sure to sit there and go through all of our ramblings the whole entire time that we are on. Y'all are going to love it. You know you are. Don't act like you're not. So we will see y'all soon, y'all.
I've always wanted to say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hit the like button and the subscribe button.
There you go. Absolutely. Hit that like button.
Definitely hit that like button.
And so the more love, the better. If we could get followers, this is going to be a great thing. I've already got it set up to where we can start doing podcasts. We can do like video podcasts. We can start posting it to YouTube. That's the dream of it anyway. We will do recipes, we will do shows, we will do comedy, we will have people on. We want y'all to interact with us. We have to have that love. If we don't have it, then it's just a couple of guys staring at each other.
Just a couple of two bearded buds just talking face to face.
That's it. But yeah, so for next time, y'all just go ahead and drop your comments. Let us know if there's something that you'd like for us to be able to cover as far as food. We might make our little twist on it, as opposed to copying an actual recipe. But yeah, I would rather do that than because you can always go online and see a recipe.
Right.
I want to have my hands in it and actually make my own little creation. I enjoy it. So. Adam, take us away, man.
Oh man, I think you did very well with that as well. But so, for shout out to Carrie, Toph, Angie, thank you for hanging with us for the past couple hours as we shared our thoughts about Naked and Afraid, and the video for the skinless chicken dish will be up shortly. And if you want to contact me through my Facebook and give me ideas for a show or some recipes or, like I said, drink specials, do that too. And we will definitely see y'all next Wednesday.
Absolutely. Same time, 6 o'clock. Y'all be here. See y'all then. Have a good one.
There are many things even the wisest of us do not know.
No one had a bad trip. It was all very good.
Oh, please, haven't you done enough to me?
The way to get rid of tension is to do just the opposite of all the things that cause it.
Hey! What are you trying to do? You ruined my record, man! I just bought it!